Good evening. I'll call to order the Utility Commission for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. We have a quorum here and the agenda was properly posted.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, public appearances. Anyone out there in the okay. Number 4, discuss and consider the minutes of the commission meeting on December 10th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve minutes from 12/10/25.
And a second, please?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And no abstaining. Thank you. Discuss and consider approval of the vouchers. I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And no one abstaining. Number 6, unfinished business. Discuss and consider awarding the Well 2 facility project to the lowest responsible bidder. And the documents are there.
Last Wednesday, on January 7th, we opened the bid results for the Well 2 project. We had 5 prime contractors that were proceeded to bid on the project. They were all within about $150,000, $200,000 from each other, which is very good to see. Means design drawings were very good, that none of the contractors saw one thing or another comparatively. In the inclusion of the packet, there's a memo kind of outlining all of the costs thus far and anticipated for the Well 2 facility, including what the approved PSC amount was of the $2,265,000, which is also our budget number internally as well. With the Findorf being the low bidder at $1,497,900, and some of the soft costs that we've had for construction, engineering, PSC, we have about an 8% contingency moving forward into the project, which is pretty solid before we're over budget. So my recommendation would be to approve Findorf for the contract. I did reach out to the Village of Oregon as they are completing a well project right now, and Findorf was their prime, and they had very good experience with them. So that's always good to hear a neighboring community.
Okay.
Any questions on the memo or costs?
Anyone?
I'll make a motion to move forward with the low bid as presented.
A second, please.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye, please. Aye. Anyone opposed? And no one abstaining. Thank you very much, Kyla, as always. And 7, new business. Discuss and consider Gerke, is that the right pronunciation?
Correct.
Proposal to replace 198 feet of sanitary sewer on the Vilas Road.
So, unfortunately, this fall, we came across, we did our televising for our sanitary sewer throughout the, continuing our process throughout the village, and we came across televising reports for the Vilas Road interceptor that currently has no flow going through it. So the location of this sanitary sewer is right upstream from the lift station, and is also the sanitary sewer 18-inch that Gerke is connecting into for the farm interceptor. Right now, there is no flow in this sanitary sewer pipe at all. And when we were televising, typically when you televise sanitary sewer, you go downstream to upstream. We got downstream, we started downstream, we were only able to get 50 feet into the pipe, which is not a good sign. So then we came back and went upstream, and included in the meeting packet, you can see some still photos of what that televising looks like. When you look at televising for a sanitary sewer, you should not see bends in pipes like you see at this bottom left-hand photo, and massive dips as you see. In a pipe that currently also has no active flow moving forward either, the fact that there is standing water is also not a good sign. Based on what I have found and what is included in the packet, what appeared to be done in 2020 when this interceptor was constructed, was it was decided to horizontally directional drill with an HDPE pipe underneath Vilas Road to avoid open cutting it. I'm also going to assume there's quite a bit of groundwater here because it is on the low area, and we ran into groundwater further up Vilas Road. So, long story short, not ideal, especially since we're going to be starting to divert flow from the west side of the village down to this sanitary sewer interceptor. Because Gerke is already in the village completing the farm interceptor and are familiar with this portion of with this area of the village, I requested a proposal for them to see what it would cost for them to do the work. That is what is included in the packet for the $152,380. I would recommend that the pavement markings be done in-house, which saves us $4,000. And I would also recommend that we fix this before we start diverting flow from the farm interceptor. Unfortunate aspect, we still are under the limit for, you have a 10% change order that you can do as part of a contract, so we are still within that limit for this project, but since it does not actually affect the project specifically, that's why I'm coming to you guys to see if we can loop it in. Any questions on the sanitary sewer?
Yeah, I've got a few. Number one, was this under MSA's purview when it was installed?
Yes.
And we inspected when it was installed, we televised post-install or not?
I cannot find any records that we have post-install anywhere. From my understanding, MSA didn't always televise afterwards. What's also concerning is that when I looked at the record drawings and the record drawings that we could find, the record drawings don't indicate any aspect of a dip or that it says it's bore fused, but when you actually do the inverts between two sides of the manholes that we did, the slope is way different than what is listed on the record drawings.
Okay. Your opinion, your experience, is it typical for HDD installed pipe to have some movement over time because of the slurry install method?
I think it could move a little bit. I think it's part of that. I think what you're seeing in some of this, though, is pretty drastic.
Completely agree. In my
I think
experience,
when you
absolutely.
directionally drill anything, and you try not to do gravity, but if you have to, like they did here, you make sure you have enough elevation on either side so that if there's a little bit of wiggle and you're not getting any big dips and you just know you hit your 2 points, it's tough, to get that to be perfect when you directionally drill a gravity line.
So the reason for HDD installation last time was it was a trenchless method to cross the creek
Yeah.
without having to open cut.
Yeah.
Now what we're talking about is open cutting the creek in order to do this.
Mm-hmm.
What are the concerns that we have with cost overruns and extras because of this trenching through an active creek to install this pipe the correct way, which would be open trench?
Mm-hmm.
My concern is that weeks from now, we see a change order because they ran into unforeseen circumstances trying to cross this creek with a change order to an existing contract that they have. I don't know how to phrase it appropriately, but that's my concern is what else are we going to see coming down the pipe in the future? And I totally understand we have to fix this. We can't put in this giant interceptor, send it to this pipe that has a dip in it, and now we're going to fight this clog forever.
I mean, I think, Mike, you bring up a good point. Maybe, Kyle, I don't know the full conversations you've had with Gerke, but I mean, they gave us costs and they gave us dewatering costs. I think we should make sure that the dewatering also is some of the stream bypassing that they're gonna have to do as part of this as they dig it, block it, pump it through, or whatever they have to do, and they understand there's gonna be a water issue here. It's gonna be difficult, plus we have to permit it, right?
Yeah, what is the time frame permitting wise to add this on to the existing contract? Is that feasible? And I mean, is this 3 months away or 6 weeks away?
We would be doing this in the spring. This work wouldn't occur until the spring, mostly because we're open cutting Vilas Road and all the asphalt plants are closed. So the plan would be to coordinate it where they complete this work right about the same time that they have to permanently patch Cottage Grove Road, as well as the bike path that's has 10 asphalt in it as well. Their proposal does include the dewatering wells for a linear footage, so it's not as a lump sum. They put it as linear footage for the pipe, but I will definitely discuss those terms with them. We've had a great working relationship with them so far on the farm interceptor, but I definitely understand the concerns because I don't want to do an additional change order on that aspect as well. So that would be very clearly laid out on
Okay.
that.
And this does fall within our contracting requirements legality-wise to award this as a change order versus a separate bid as part of this project.
Yes.
I mean, it falls within a percentage, that you're allowed. Is it off of this project? It's kind of off of this project adjacent to it. I
That's
guess,
where I'm coming from, only because
it's one of those things where it's like,
We
would
haven't
somebody challenge that, Rick?
done that before.
I think if it somewhat relates to the project, we've got a stronger argument to say like we can change order this. So as long as we feel like we've got a basis where like these are related projects, it's okay to do the 10% change order rule. If they were like separate in the sense like we've got a project in this area and then all of a sudden there's another project like way on the north side of the
Right.
village.
Yep.
I think there's a little less nexus there, but here they're kind of interrelated projects.
Okay, and
And
sorry,
it's
sorry.
like similar type of work too. We're not changing and they're doing something completely different, which helps too. And I
And-
think in that case,
And that
but
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Not being able to predict everything, and going back to my first question, I guess, Rick, if something happens that's unforeseen and there's another change order that we exceed more than 10% of
Yeah.
what the original project cost was, do we run into an issue there, or how do you handle that we just keep adding? Things happen, I get
Yeah.
it, change orders
Right,
exist,
right, yeah.
we can verify
What if we
that
get outside of that threshold.
they're justified, but
Yeah.
do we have an issue if we would then exceed with another one?
Yeah, I think maybe we make clear, like, if we exceed this 10%, we have to bid it out, like, and nobody wants to be in that position, right? So, I think it's really just make sure that the proposal that we have is as accurate as can be as far as pricing goes, and try to mitigate that circumstance as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we have these conversations, or Kyle, you have this conversation. If they need to shore up a price or make sure that they feel confident about what they're giving, we will also be done fully with probably in the next couple, 2-3 weeks with most of the work on this other project, which has some quantities that may not be used, that we can get a better idea, what is their final cost gonna be on this first project? How does that fit in all around?
Okay, not directly related to this discussion item, but quite related.
Yeah.
So the original contract for the Interceptor
Yep.
had a completion date of,
It was December 31st.
Yeah.
They have been approved. We have change ordered it in just the date of it due to unforeseeable, they had dewatering. It's taken a lot longer to dewater. It's not an additional dewatering cost. It's been taking longer to dewater, as well as weather conditions. We didn't expect snow in November. No one did.
I guess, here's another reason, Mike, what's the rush at this point?
I don't disagree.
So
I'm
I
just
think
trying
everybody
to,
laid
I'm
the-
trying to
like,
look forward to.
Everybody said, well, we were all rushed for some development that was gonna happen, that hasn't really happened and it's kind of stalled, so we're not in, as far as the contractors going, when they were coming to us with that, I think it was like, well, the timeline was the timeline because we had to meet other deadlines.
Correct.
I don't think those deadlines really exist anymore unless I'm not aware of
Okay,
them.
I guess my question related to that is, if you feel that they have been capable, qualified, professional, before we hand them additional work,
Yep.
Yes.
that is even more difficult than the work they're
100%.
already
Yes.
doing, that took
100%.
longer than they initially expected
Sure.
it to take.
Yep.
Are we comfortable with that moving forward?
100%. Totally agree, and I am comfortable working with Gerke.
Okay.
When was this pipe laid? Do you know?
2020.
This is,
That's pretty recent.
this was that farm interceptor extension that we did to enable the sale of the farm.
6 years ago. Yep.
Well, that is gonna need a lot of dewatering, I can tell you right now, because when we did under the railroad tracks, that was the thing that they came every month, saying, we can't dewater it fast enough, we need more money. We can't dewater it fast enough, we need more money.
When you put that in the first time, you're saying, over by the tracks?
We had to go under the tracks
Yeah.
because we couldn't tear them up.
Yeah.
So that whole area is basically a marsh at one time.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing then, I guess we're going is, we peel it off and you bid it, right, as a project, and see who wants to bid on it and do it potentially next spring? or
I'm in
next year?
favor of moving forward and trying to get the best price
Yeah.
that we can if that situation exists because they're already there doing work.
Mhm.
My concern has to do with the unforeseen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily have the ability to keep adding money to this
100%.
if there are unforeseens. And I know very familiar. That happens, and it's out of everybody's control.
Right.
But I don't want to put us in a situation that all of a sudden they're there working, they're half done, and now we have to suddenly stop the project and bid it, the remainder of the project, because it's going to go over our threshold.
Right.
Yep. And
Yes.
so with that, I can go back to Gerke and I can have this discussion. Obviously, this isn't 911. We're not going to have them start here in February anyway. So I can go back, shore up, and it to be a not to exceed, make sure they understand the dewatering concept of it, and that it's written down before anything is signed.
I guess I'd like to see that number next month with a further discussion, with them fully understanding that this has to be a not to exceed, or
Yep.
essentially we're gonna have to cancel it partway through and bid it out because we don't have the ability to add more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good questions, Mike. And I trust Kyla very much to figure it out.
I will report back next month.
Okay, so that was a,
I just have one question.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, John.
Since this occurred underneath the previous engineer firm, is there any ramifications we can take against them, whether that be monetary reimbursement or at a minimum, like a letter of displeasure to engineers of Wisconsin?
I mean, they no longer are engineers,
I
so.
get that, and it's one of many reasons, probably.
So to be fair, just so this commission is aware, per everything Strand does and per my recommendation as well and JJ's, everything is, and once Strand got on board, everything, any new sewer pipe that is installed, whether it's a replacement or it's new, it's in a new development, everything is always televised. So we get to see what those existing conditions look like before it's taken over by the village and before we have ownership. So that also gives us a baseline.
So that's an internal policy, and I think
Yep.
that's,
So,
It's good
just
practice.
One more question. When we trench it, because of all the water and unstable soil, how are they going to prevent it from moving again?
We won't be using HDD pipe. So what they used was a fusible pipe and they directionally drilled it, so they didn't open cut it to begin with. So we're gonna open cut it is
Right.
the plan, and they will bed it stone, access stone, which we have in the other
It's a
contract.
Different, better pipe, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep,
thank
we'll
you.
be using PVC instead of the HDD.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on A? So B, the Gaston County TT Water Main Looping Project update.
Drawings were provided in the packet, for the 60% drawings for the TT water main looping. Along there, they've come along. We just got confirmation back from the county. They didn't have any concerns, with the project from the TT side. A couple things that I wanted to point out specifically, for you guys, in case there are any questions. So this is the overview of the project in general. As you can see, we're connecting on Gaston Road, looping up underneath the interstate, and then connecting back by the roundabout. I have reached out to the developer of the parcel that was recently annexed into the village, as they are going to need public water at some point in time, and at one point they were moving forward rather quickly. So I am trying to reach out to coordinate that stub so we don't have to come back and recut into our pipe if that is possible. Additionally, while Gaston Road is within village limits, the adjacent parcels for the residential area are not. They're still within the town of Cottage Grove or the town of Sun Prairie. At this time, we are not currently stubbing to those residential properties. They are all on wells, excuse me. And because they are not within village limits, it has not been, from my understanding, policy in the past that we've provided stubs to non-village properties. The other thing to consider is should this area get redeveloped, they may not know, a 1-inch water service may not be needed. It could be a commercial area or an industrial area moving forward. Mike looks like he has a question before I move on.
Only related to the laterals, my biggest concern would be that tearing up the road again, if they all decide suddenly that they want to connect, you know, while we're still in the planning purposes, is it worthwhile to reach out and find if anybody is going to connect? Now would be the time before we're putting patches into our brand new street after we're done putting this in.
Yes. So then that's the other aspect of it. If this committee wants me to reach out to the town residents to get their feedback if they would like a stub, and then the utility commission would be paying for that essentially stub to the edge of the roadway.
I think, I would expect that we should do that, but that's my thought.
Yeah, I
To
would
town,
second.
to town parcels, you'd do that outside of your municipality?
This is outside of my knowledge base, but if we can provide service, we're putting the pipe in, you know, we would have income from the service. Why
So-
wouldn't we offer it?
So one thing to note, when the commission did do the 2020 project along Vilas Road, the only stubs that were provided for sanitary and water were the ones that were in village parcels that were already annexed into the village.
Like I said, I'm not sure how this normally legal works.
Which is why I'm interested in what this committee had to say. We can provide the stubs, they're not in. If they connect, then we have to go, there's a PSC reporting aspect of it, which is just a reporting aspect from my understanding. But it opens up the option for other town parcels, if we continue to extend how we want to do that in the future as well. The other thing is you never know what's going to happen with this area. The annexation was planned industrial, planned use, mixed use. I don't remember what the annexed area is, but should this area potentially fully redevelop, it's a handful of residential homes in a pretty commercial area. You don't know if it does redevelop or you may have larger services.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. My
Yeah.
thought was just in the right now time frame. If people said, yeah, if you allow us to hook up, we'll hook up tomorrow, that would be prudent to put them in now and at least ask if that's something they were interested in.
Would that require an annexation by then?
That's the stuff I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Rick, do you have any, I'm just, when you make that call, is there
Yeah.
requirements as part of that?
I can't remember if the village has a requirement. I thought the village had a requirement that you had to annex to connect to utilities. And that's a pretty standard requirement because frankly, if a town parcel gets access to village utilities, they're never going to annex. So that would be why you would want to make sure that if you are providing the stub or the lateral, that it's the service actually is going to be offered unless they actually are in the village.
So can we table this till next meeting to get more information and like get the legality of doing it? Or does it need to be done like now?
We are looking to bid it here in early February so we can award it at the March meeting.
We can change order it
We-
in, but we don't have any of those. Right now, it's pretty much just a transmission main, so we just would have to add some services. We wouldn't have pricing in the bid for those, but it could be change ordered in and we could just check the
And is it a
pricing.
huge cost to put a stub in?
Not necessarily, no.
Not for the
Can,
one,
I mean,
two,
I
four
agree with
homes.
Rick on the fact that if we do it and then they say, well, we're never gonna, come to the village
Yeah.
because we already got it. But we're still getting paid for it, right? I
No.
mean, all the water they use is gonna get
They,
paid.
this would be a stub and they wouldn't connect. It would just be a dead end.
It would just be a dead end.
The
We-
curb box stops and it just sits there.
What if they wanted to connect?
Then they would have to probably
Then
annex.
they would have to annex.
And then they probably would have to make a connection. If they want, the other way around this is if they want the water, then someday it's their cost to then annex and connect to the water main.
Okay.
Let's say here's when you usually see this, or here's when I've seen it in the past, in a lot of communities. Their well fails, or their septic fails. And now there's a big dollar amount to drill a new well or to put a septic in, and they see something sitting right across the street that may be easier and something that they don't have to deal with a new well someday again, or a new septic or other issues. And they say, maybe I should connect across the street. I will have to annex a lot of times into the community to make that happen. And then they become part of the village or the city or wherever they're doing it. This is something to think about because in Vilas, I think back 4, 5, 6 years ago, whenever that was in, there were some discussions with some property owners there that wanted stubs and weren't given stubs.
Right after the fact.
Maybe after the fact. I don't know how that went
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
But I
we-
just know,
We had a heated discussion with someone
yeah,
about why they weren't offered it.
yeah, yeah.
So-
So you may have a discussion again if you start putting stubs in as well. But you can do whatever. I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. It's just, so we would stub these out and you would end at the property line.
is it beyond where we're at in the planning and bidding portion to just put in water service and sanitary lateral as an alternate bid item in case that gets accepted and moves forward. It wouldn't have to be part of the base bid and
Yes.
thus influence the
Yeah.
base bid price.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're totally right. It could be
Just
like
a-
an
just a thought.
Like an alternative. There will
Right.
be no sanitary.
That could keep the bidding process moving forward, and then,
Yeah.
we certainly
Yeah.
wouldn't have to accept it, and it could be change order, and
Right.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
changed, but it would be accepted, the
We
alternates.
can definitely do that, and I can reach out to the town property owners in the meantime before the next meeting and provide an update.
That would keep things moving along.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mike, you said water and sanitary.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot we're not doing
okay. So
sanitary.
there is no sanitary on this right now. Not saying there couldn't be someday, but yeah, it wouldn't, the sanitary wouldn't be there initially for them.
Okay, any other discussion?
I have two more things that I wanted to
Yeah, no,
point
I
out.
mean on this
Oh, yes, on
particular
that.
one.
I have two more things on this
Okay.
project that I
Okay,
wanted to
I'm
mention.
sorry.
So with that, we are planning to disturb Gaston. There's a likelihood that Gaston will be disturbed just with the existing, with the location of the water main, the road conditions of Gaston, not in great condition. At this point in time, if we do not move forward with full services, we're planning on milling and overlaying half of the road to bring it back up to conditions. And the last thing I wanted to point out on this project was the casing pipe was installed back in 2010 and 2011 as part of the interstate project, just to make sure that casing pipe looks good. And everything we are requiring as part of the contract, where they're gonna dig down on either side of the interstate, make sure the casing pipe can be found, and then they're also gonna televise it. Was installed 15 years ago, just to make sure we have a condition of the pipe before we start installing all of the water main throughout the project. So, just a little covering before we start putting all this pipe in.
And did we reach out to the town about doing their side of the road? Do they want to contribute their side of the road?
It is all currently within village, Gaston is all village right in this
Oh,
minute.
okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Just one question with that. Are we in communication with the school district that Gaston Road might be disrupted?
I will be once school starts. I let them know about all of our projects.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is that good?
That's all I needed.
Okay, thank you. And then C is discuss UpNet lease renewal.
I just brought this forward. Last time this came forward, it was the village entered into a 2-year agreement that automatically renews for an additional 2 years afterwards. We're getting close to that 60-day notice period to provide either notice that we're looking to cancel or renegotiate, or it automatically renewing. The reason why I asked Kyla to add this to the agenda is my recommendation would be to work with the UpNet and request a rent increase from $500 to $525 a month. It just represents roughly a 2% increase for the 2 years, and that price then would be good for the first 2 years. And then subsequently, I feel comfortable that they've been good stewards having an automatic renewal with a notice period. So what that would look like, pending your feedback to us, we'd bring back something along those terms to consider at the next utility commission meeting. So just looking for feedback and direction. I don't feel like there's anything that would need to be discussed in closed session. There is the ability to go in closed session is part of this, but it's a relatively simple agreement.
Any discussion on that? Do we need a motion for this?
Nope, just,
Okay,
it sounds like, is everybody comfortable with the going from 5 to 525? Okay, sounds good.
yeah. Okay,
That's all I need. Thank you.
so now down to D, or excuse me, down to D. Discuss and consider Pheasant Run sewer claim. The Utility Commission will enter into closed session under item 10 to be held at the end of the meeting.
So the next two items, I sent out information regarding those sewer claims memos and attachments on Friday. I realized today when I was getting all my ducks in a row that one of the attachments was doubled twice, so you did get an update attachment this afternoon. Pretty straightforward on the memos. Both CIVMIC attorneys and the village recommendation would be to deny both the sewer and the water claim on the reasons provided. If you have any, Rick can give kind of a update on the legality between the open and closed session.
Right, so if the commission wants to go into closed session to discuss this, because we've received claims, we could have a discussion and answer any questions you have. If you feel comfortable taking action right now without having, questions on the legal side, we could take action right now, but it's really in the commission's discretion on whether or not it wants to go into closed session.
Well, I definitely wanted to go in closed session for the insurance company portion of it. The smaller one before that, I don't see why we really need to go into closed session for that one.
For the water?
For the sewer backup,
No, not the sewer backup,
the,
the flushing of
the water,
Yeah.
the $364.
Again, I'd like everyone's input. Do we need both in closed session or just the insurance company one?
It should be noted that for the water claim, if the utility commission is interested in not denying the claim, then that would have to go to village board for approval, because it would be coming out of general funds, not out of water utility funds.
Okay, any advice from anyone? Then I'm recommending we go to closed session for both.
Perfect.
Okay, let me read it.
We've got one more before the closed session, director's report.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always forget the engineering director people.
Update on the Authentics televising. I did receive the actual video. There is not currently a buildup of waste. If you're interested in seeing the actual video, I can provide that to you via email. It's kind of a large file. We removed our backup generator in well 3 at the end of 2024 before the new generator that's now sitting outside the building was installed. With that, we did a kind of cleanup of well 3 and we've painted the interior. It looks really nice if anyone, in case they're interested in wanting a tour. Well 3 driveway replacement. As part of the 2026 budget, it was approved for the replacement of the deteriorating asphalt in front of well 3 and partially that leads up to the tower. I've gotten a quote as a standalone from a local contractor here that did one of our patches in 2025, as well as I'm planning to including it in the streets project because it is asphalt related, to see if we can get a price on that, to see which one's the better price moving forward. On the engineering side, Heyday is continuing to move forward. They did a lot of their sewer and water main testing in this December, and they've got a few spots left to do. The SCADA project has officially been completed, paid out, and we are done with all portions of the SCADA project, which is exciting. Then we talked about well 2 and the Gaston Road water main looping here earlier. And then lastly, the farm interceptor. They are still working through that as discussed. The last schedule that I got last week, they're planning to be done at the end of January. Any questions on that from me?
Anyone? Okay, thank you, Kayla. And number 9, any future agenda items?
I'll come back with the Gerke proposal on that, as well as an update from the town residents.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so 10, we're going to go into closed session now. The Village of Cottage Grove Utility Commission will enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 1G, convening with legal counsel for the government body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy or to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation which is or is likely to be involved. And we need a vote.
You need a second first.
Oh, second. Okay. Almost got it.
Hackle?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Stoa?
Yes.
And Williams?
Okay, thank you. We're closed.
Hang on one second. Inga's gotta get off yet.
Yep. Did we get anybody yet for that, or is she still doing that?
The new person will start in